Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by
Sphere Exclusives. Looking for exclusive content from your favorite podcasts here at the Sphere? Head over to sphere.tv/Patreon and sign up today. True Digital Media Consulting. You're online right now and so are your customers, but marketing has to be a consistent journey. True Digital Media Consulting can help with your online ads, organic growth, and so much more. Contact us today at 832-934-4436 or visit our website at truedigitalmediaconsulting.com.
KOG and Company. Are your unique gifts and talents changing the world? Do you desire to belong to a community of unity? Visit KOGpassion.com to learn more about the Unleash Your Dopeness movement.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Technocrats. Thank you for joining us today. We are having a little switch up today, and this Thursday, Gary is away on vacation, so it is going to be your host, as always, Ari McKinney. You can find me, as always, on social media at Dish with Ari on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Insta. And today we have joining us is a very, very, very good friend of mine from way back, Lee Ayala. Lee, say hello to all the good people. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, hello, everyone. I am Lee. Obviously, I know Ariana from way back. We went to high school together, even possibly middle school.
Definitely middle school.
Yeah, just old as dirt. Basically, I'm a self-published author and a technology freak. I'm obsessed with anything technology-oriented, even starting from when I first started working. One of my first jobs was Best Buy, and anything I did was related in the tech field. So I'm really actually excited to join today and help Ariana out.
Yes, thank you so much. This is so exciting for me, honestly. So we have some really cool things to talk about today. So the first of which, let's dive in, right? So, the first thing we're going to talk about today, good folks, is Facebook. So for those of us out there who manage Facebook pages, right, there are some cool things that are coming down the pipeline. So anyone who manages some Facebook pages knows that we were pretty much excluded from Facebook groups, right? Like we weren't really allowed as pages to get in there. Now, Facebook has changed that for us. They've changed the game. So what is happening now is that brands that are managing Facebook groups are now allowed to participate. Page owners are allowed to participate in groups. So that means that, something that a lot of us page owners have been looking forward to for a long time, right? Because it allows us to utilize our, wherewithal, our know-how, so to speak, to come into these, groups and establish ourselves as an authority. My major question is, for those of us who are participating in these groups, right? Like, is this something that you want, or is this something that you feel like is kind of going to be another avenue for brands to market themselves, right? Like, will it annoy you? will it be something that you feel like will be helpful? Lee, what do you think?
Honestly, me being a person who has several pages, even for like my book series or even my author page, I think it's a great thing, especially since it's a new way to outlet and market yourself that wasn't there before. With Facebook pages, it really limited you to what they wanted you to do and how they wanted you to market in very specific areas and age groups. This actually gives you an opportunity to go into these groups and these pages and really just market yourself or market other pages that you might be interested in. I think it's something that is long overdue for Facebook, and I'm actually thoroughly excited about it myself.
See, I'm very excited about it as well. Like I'm here for it. But and just to give the viewers and the listeners a little background, like talk about a little bit about your pages and how you might utilize it.
Honestly, if you go into certain groups, like for instance, my series is a supernatural series, the one currently I have out. I would honestly go.
Hold on,
into
let me
different.
interrupt you for a second. Lee is a self-published author, and he has a 7-book series that he has self-published, and so this is something that he could absolutely utilize. So I wanna make that clear for all the listeners and viewers right now, so that they can understand why this is something that you might utilize. So with that in mind, go for it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like you said, I do have a series currently out right now that you can find on Amazon or go to my page where you can get links to look at that stuff. But for me, I think just to be able to market and reach out to different individuals or different groups who are not currently, looking for that type of thing, it's a lot better for me to get there and get my name out there and get my product out there. And other pages can do the same thing. I can join books or pages and groups that are based around supernatural book series or just books in general, and really pitch my entire body of work out there. I think that's a really good idea, especially just to get a new perspective and new readers or new viewers or whatever the case may be, to really just get your name out there and get to know you as a brand. For instance, like my sister, she has a very localized business that she can really broaden by doing this as well and creating a page as well and going into these groups. So I think it's a really great opportunity for anyone who has that page.
So what do you think about people that might say that the thing that makes groups cool to us is that it's one space in Facebook that we don't have to worry about brands or let's just say brands coming in and kind of infiltrating that space. You know what I mean? Like there are people that might say pages, like the groups are for us as kind of individuals to talk about things, and we don't want this to become a branded experience. For me personally, I'm going to be honest, I think it's lovely because my background is in marketing, PR, that kind of thing. And so I've been waiting for this opportunity to happen. But do you kind of agree with the people who think that this should perhaps not be a thing for people to come in and brand their experience or their knowledge? Like, what do you think about that? Do you think that this will become something where people will, it could have an adverse effect where people go, there are too many brands on this that are trying to sell or promote their knowledge, and now we're not going to, we don't want to participate anymore?
I think there's a difference between branding and monopolizing a situation. I think if someone was going in there almost like a robot and just kind of spitting out the same thing over and over and over again, visit my website, buy my books, visit my website, buy my product. That becomes annoying. But we're discussing something that gives you an opportunity to make your brand a topic of discussion. It's not like I'm shoving it down your throat. I'm giving you an opportunity to bounce off of what I'm offering for you to give me feedback, and I can give you feedback as well. And I think that it's not just even a purpose of you just selling your brand. I think it's a really good idea for you to collaborate with individuals. If say, for instance, I join a group and I'm talking about my book, someone who is like a graphic designer might come in and be like, hey, I might have work for you, or vice versa. Do you know what I mean? I think it's if it becomes a monopolizing piece where you have individuals in there who come and do exactly what I said, almost like a robot, and just spit out things over and over again. I think that Facebook should have some type of control over that and monitor that. But I think it's a really good, I think for me, it's a positive thing. I think it's more of an open discussion. I think it's a platform to discuss and really meet new people in ways that you couldn't before.
I'm here with you on that. I'm excited about this. Like I'm actually
Absolutely.
I'm very excited about it. I've been waiting for this for a long time. So, it's super cool to me. So, I'm all for it. So, speaking of this, speaking of exclusive content and being able to reach who you need to reach on Facebook and on social in general, this portion of the show is sponsored by the Sphere Exclusive Team. Looking for exclusive content that you can't find anywhere else? Look no further than our Sphere exclusives found only on Patreon. We've got behind the scenes shots happening daily at the Sphere Podcast Studios. Each show on the podcast network curates episodes that are only delivered to Patreon subscribers. Plus, we deliver the show live from start to finish in our Discord server that's exclusive to our Patreon family. Sign up today at www.thesphere.tv/Patreon to join our $2, $5, or $8 Patreon tier and get access to all of the exclusive content we offer at the Sphere. Boom. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So, there's been some cool stuff happening, y'all, in the techno sphere. And we are going to talk about right now, you guys, listen, anybody who, I'm going to be real right now, anybody who tunes into the show regularly knows that I am hashtag Team iPhone all the way. But listen, Lee constantly sends me Facebook Messenger messages. Is like, girl, get on some of that non-iPhone, non-Apple, news. And I'm like, well, whenever you have the opportunity to join me, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. So this is that opportunity, okay? And I am so excited to let Lee lead the way. And he's going to talk about some really cool digital trends, y'all. Talking about the Galaxy S10. There's a rumor roundup. So, Lee, I'm going to shoot it over to you, young man. Tell us what is going on.
So Samsung is about to do a whole lot in the coming week as it's gearing up for the launch of the Galaxy S10 lineup. The announcement is actually due on February 20th at their Unpacked event, which is kind of like a big press conference that they hold for all the releases or announcements of their devices. Rumor has it, though, that this time around, Samsung is actually going to be announcing not one, but 3 variants of their S10 lineup, all of which include their new Infinity O display. The actual Infinity display started back on the S8. It was basically their way of introducing a full display phone. Along with the S10, there actually are rumors that they're going to be announcing the long-awaited folding phone, which is something you and Gary talked about a couple weeks ago when you guys were talking about the Razr.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how Samsung is going to approach that and really put their stamp on that. But we'll get back to that in a little bit as there's a lot to cover with the Samsung Galaxy S10. But like previously stated, there are going to be 3 versions. One called the Galaxy S10e, which is kind of your more budget-friendly variant. It's going to pack a smaller screen and more mid-tier specs. The Galaxy S10, which is your standard device, which everyone's going to be familiar with and which most people will gravitate towards too. And the Galaxy S10 Plus, which if I were still into the S series, I would probably go for because it's the largest of the 3. And rumored to pack the most advances where tech is concerned, including a fingerprint scanner that's embedded into the screen. That's actually a technology that a lot of phone companies have been trying to master, and they couldn't. I know Apple for a while was trying to beat Samsung to the punch, and they couldn't, and Samsung couldn't even do it at that time. So Apple got rid of it altogether. But it should be interesting to see how that functionality works and if it's as security tight as they claim it's going to be. But there are some companies that did release under the screen fingerprint scanners that, were received as less than stellar as the experience. But I would give them a chance and see how it goes, I guess. But what's interesting about these devices in specific is that the company's approach to the all-screen display differs from what they've done in the past. Before, they utilized small bezels at the top and bottom of the screen to give the illusion of a full-screen display, where this time they actually want to eliminate all the bezels altogether. And when they released their all-screen device, it was kind of like a big moment because a lot of phone companies weren't doing that. Apple followed suit not too long after the Galaxy S8 was introduced. But the way they approached it was with a notch at the top of the screen, which is now considered to be an infamous notch because a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people did like it. You had some individuals, even Apple enthusiasts, were just like, that's a lazy approach to innovation.
Right.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you have a lot of sensors on your screen at the front of your phone that you need to put somewhere. You know what I mean? If you're making an all-screen display, where are they supposed to go?
Right.
But Samsung's approach this go around is actually they're doing what they call a hole punch notch or a hole punch camera. So what you'll have is an entire screen with a little camera hole punch in the right-hand corner or left-hand corner, depending on the variant of the phone you get, which is actually dope because I think that it's really going to change the game for other companies to really test their innovative abilities to approach new phone designs. Other companies have done, hidden cameras where the actual camera itself is embedded into the actual phone and rise up when you turn on the front-facing camera, which I could foresee going horribly if you drop your phone. But I mean, what do you think about it, Ari? Like, how do you feel about the whole full screen? I don't know which iPhone you have. I know you have an iPhone because you're Team Apple all the way and don't want to touch anything other than that. But I mean, what do you think?
Here's the thing. I think you and I during the Grammys we're texting back and forth quite extensively.
Yes.
And for those of you out there listening, like Lee is a like longtime friend of mine, right? Like elementary, middle school, longtime friend of mine, right? So I actually had to admit that I was jelly about some of the features that were coming out that he was talking to me about. And I'm like, oh, I'm a little jealous that this is not something that Apple is coming out with, right? Like, so I think, I think it's cool. I think it's awesome. And I'm going to be honest here. You'll hear me say it right now, live, y'all. Samsung has been, I mean, let's be honest. They've been coming out with things that Apple has not been, or that before Apple has been doing it for quite a while now. I think that what Apple has going for them is that everything talks to one another, and when you're in the system, so to speak, you're in it, right? Like, it's so easy, and it's harder to get out of it and like use something else, right? So I think that's what we have going for it. But I think this is awesome. I'm here for it. I'm honestly here for it. Like I really am. I wish I could. I mean, I don't have anything negative to say about it.
I mean, for me, like I have the Note. I left the S series not too long ago. I went to the Note series, which is for me, I think it's a better device. I actually utilize the S Pen a lot. So I won't get the hole punch technology until later on in the year. But I think it's a neat, interesting way to approach it. My only I guess pushback on it would be, how does it affect if you're gaming or if you're like doing something on your phone, like you need that full screen, or if you're watching a movie on your phone, are you just gonna have a little black dot just hanging out in the corner, like, hey, that's me? Do you know what I mean? Like that's my only pushback to it.
Right. So I guess it really, like most things, it comes down to like, what are you utilizing it for? Right. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens, but I laughed when I was like, okay, Leah's gonna guest host with me, because I was like, this is gonna be a non-Apple conversation, and it's fine. I'm here for it. I just
listen. I can be bipartisan when necessary. Okay, I will give Apple credit when it's due at the end of the day.
And I'm doing the same. I'm like, you know what? They've got some cool-ish going on right now.
Absolutely.
I think it's awesome, right? So it's super cool. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it for all those people that utilize it, right? So, y'all, I wish that you guys could all stay with us for this whole entire Facebook Live because we have some really, really cool stuff to talk about coming forward, including pouring one out for the Mars rover opportunity, homie. But
Poor thing.
poor little thing. But we gotta head out, y'all. So hit us up, right? Follow us, subscribe to us so that you guys can get the full episodes, hear everything that we are talking about, discussing, debating, all of that. Facebook Live, thank you all for tuning in, but you got to subscribe to get the rest of the show, y'all. So, subscribe to our show on all major platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and anywhere else podcasts are found. Review our show across all platforms and help us build better content for you. Share the entire show with your family and friends right from the Sphere Podcast Network Facebook page. And last but not least, support our mission to bring enriched and inspiring content each and every week. You can do a one-time donation at www.thesphere.tv/donate or get exclusive content almost daily via our Patreon tiers. Sign up at www.thesphere.tv/Patreon. Lee,
Yes.
I'm going to bring it back to you, Love Bug. You have brought to the table some really cool stuff. So I am, excuse me, I am a huge follower of the Olympics. Some of you guys out there may not know I am a native New Jerseyan, that's how I know Lee here. Yes, we went to, God, was it middle school?
Yeah, Lewis, right?
Yeah, middle school together in New Jersey. And I was a cross country and track runner. And so the Olympics are something always near and dear to my heart because early in my life, I thought that's exactly what I wanted to do. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's, it is what it is. But I love it. Like, I'm obsessed with it. I'm super excited. So you have some super interesting stuff about the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, I mean, like Ariana said, I honestly watch every 4 years. It's something that fascinates me all the time, and I don't even know how I got into it. I just absolutely love the Olympics. And the fact that it's going to be in Tokyo, we already know that opening ceremony is going to be lit. There's no avoiding
Absolutely
that.
Lit.
The technology that they're going to bring along just
technologically lit.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. But one of the cool things I actually found when I was doing some research was what they're doing to create the medals this year or next year. They're actually going to create all their Olympic medals, the winnings, the gold, the bronze, the silver. They're going to make them out of e-waste, which is basically, recycled smartphones, laptops, tablets, and other electronic devices. So they're going to be basically extracting all the metal from said devices to create them. They actually began this project in April of 2017, where they set up collection centers across 1,594 municipalities. And as of November 2018, around 47,000 tons of discarded gadgetry had been dumped at these locations. Like, that's a lot.
That's so much.
Do you know what I mean? And as opposed to it just going to a landfill and, polluting our world even more, #global warming, they're actually doing something useful with it. Do you know what I mean? I think that's really dope. In June of 2018, they had already reached their target of metal needed for the bronze medals, which is about 5,950 pounds of scraps. In October of just last year, they were at 93.7% of the 67 pounds needed for the gold. And I believe they were at 85.4% of the 9,000 pounds needed for the silver. So by the time the Olympics roll around, there's going to be no doubt that they're going to be all done and taken care of. But they also intend on utilizing the same e-waste metals for the Paralympics, which is pretty dope.
This is so cool.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting how they the things you can do by recycling, I guess. But they do plan on unveiling the design and how they're going to look sometime this year. I believe probably the summer. Which, every time about the year beforehand, they always go to the Olympic area just to check to see if, they're moving along with construction and all that fun stuff. So I'm pretty sure they're going to do a big press conference and release the way they look like and what they look like in the design. But the silver and gold that they have collected is valued at $3 million so far, which is insane.
Wow. No, I think that's super cool. I mean, my first thought was like, leave it to Japan to do that, right?
Couldn't be us,
Like, leave it to Japan to do some cool ish like that. Like, that's so awesome. I'm a huge Olympics fan. Like, as I said in the beginning, I thought one day I might be there. Maybe one day. But, reality set in. It was like, no, I don't know. But this is so cool. I think the fact that they're, putting this forward to the Paralympics is really awesome. And I mean, what do you think? Do you think that, other countries might adopt this going forward and kind of make this, I'm honestly hoping that this becomes a sort of way to go forward, I mean, because if they have the materials, they have the ability, why not?
Right.
I
mean, not even just talking about the medals at the end of the day. I think what they're doing for the medals is pretty cool. But like, if they could do that to make the medals for the Olympics, what else can we do with recycled material? I mean, you think about it, dude. I mean, recycling has been around forever, obviously. But it's just one of those things that go to show you that as opposed to dumping these gadgets, which, at the end you got to think about all the acids and all that fun stuff that's in the batteries of these phones or these computers and stuff like that, how much damage that does to, the earth that we currently live on. Right. It'd be interesting to see what they do to take initiative and taking recycled e-waste and doing something else with it. I would like to see other countries implement something like that where, they have donation centers for, to drop off old phones or computers, just for recycling purposes. I think it's pretty dope.
Yes, the digital, the things we can do in the digital world are killer. And
right.
I think if we can turn that into something good, we should do that. And speaking of digital, y'all, this portion of the show is sponsored by True Digital. You're online right now, and so are your customers. The question is, how to do you? Sorry, y'all. The question is, how do you actively reach them? Marketing has to be a consistent journey, and we're here to walk with you every step of the way. True Digital Media Consulting can help with website development, online ads, your business reputation, and organic growth on search engines. Give us a call today to discuss a customized strategy for your business at area code 832-934-4436 or send us an email at info@truedigitalmediaconsulting.com. Mention the Sphere to receive a free 30-minute strategy consultation. Boom. Ow. This is something that Lee and I say all the time in our Facebook convos. Ow. So I'm super excited to have you today, Lee. I'm just gonna take a second to say that we've known each other for so long, and I'm we debate that we talk about this stuff all the time in our own little Facebook chats, and it's super fun to have you be able to come on and do it on the podcast. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, of course. So we're gonna pour one out right now. Lee knows what I'm talking about. For all you guys that don't know, we're gonna take a moment.
It's sad.
We're gonna pour one out for the homie known as Opportunity. So, you guys, after 14 really awesome, cool, amazing years, we are going to say goodbye to the Mars rover that has been named Opportunity, who has given us 14 years of his or her, whatever you would
Gender
like to,
neutral.
gender neutral, 14 years of its good life roaming Mars. And now it's dead. It's dead, y'all. And when Lee and I first discussed putting this on the episode, we were like, oh, you know what it reminds us of? It was like, this is Wall-E. For those of you who have seen Wall-E, we're like, this is Wall-E when he gets left in the junkyard. I feel
By himself.
Oh, we felt some kind of way. And so we felt like we needed to end this with pouring one out. If I had something to pour out, we're gonna do that. So what this is the Mars rover that has been giving us pictures, data, all these things for the last 14 years, essentially got inundated with a bunch of dust. And it got so dusty that its panels and everything could no longer transmit data.
It was like a massive sandstorm, wasn't it?
It was a massive sandstorm. And for the past few months, they've been trying to send out, pings, essentially, for lack of a better word, to it and hoping we would get something back. And we have not gotten anything back. And they have decided as of, yesterday that we're not doing it anymore. We are declaring it dead.
Gone. Rip.
Over. Hashtag RIP. We're done, right? So mission is complete. It last communicated a few months ago. And so they've declared the mission is complete. And, I know a lot of us here that are followers of the podcast are super, into all the outer space missions. But I think this is cool. It's done a lot. It's given us a lot of info. It's done its job, but it is kind of sad to think that it's just kind of out there and won't be sending us anything else, but they've tried.
I mean, I have a lot of weird mixed feelings about this.
Talk about it, Lee. What do you think?
The first one is we were juniors in high school when they sent these up there.
Are you telling my age online?
I sure am.
Thank you. Not. No, go for it. Go for it.
My first emotion is, damn, I feel old. But the second one is, they sent it up with the other one, and I can't remember what the other's name is, correct? There was two of them that went up?
Right, there were two. Correct.
Yeah. So I understand the whole sending the pings and not getting a response.
Well, there was like 800 plus attempts that they've made in the past.
Right, but didn't they have sent the other one?
Yes. I'm trying to look for it. Spirit.
Bam, Spirit. There we go.
Yes, thank you, Magic
Couldn't they have sent Spirit to go find him? Or it?
It. We'll just say it.
Yeah.
Well, but they're not getting anything.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, the other one's still alive and well, but go find it. You know what I mean? That was one of my questions. But no, honestly, I think it is sad because if you think about all the information that both of these rovers have sent back to us over the past 14 years, it's been incredible. We've seen close-up images of what Mars looks like, something we've never had a chance to do before. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that it's, the accomplishments that this little robot made, even though it's not alive or whatever the case may be, is groundbreaking. I think it's incredible what they've done and what the other one's going to continue doing. So it's a little sad, And yeah. I just wonder where do we go from here? What happens next? How do we explore Mars next? What is the next thing that we're going to do?
So apparently, to answer what happens next, sir, is apparently the Opportunity's final resting spot is on the western edge of the Endeavour crater.
That one.
Yes, right.
With
Right.
the
So
rocks.
in a gully that that the NASA science team has dubbed Perseverance Valley. And so the thing about it is that's cool about it is that the original mission was only deemed to last 3 months. So when you look at it in those terms, like the opportunity has like lived, thrived, lived its best life, right? Like hashtag living my best life all the way. Like it has done its job and then some. So, when I first read the article, I was like, oh, pour one out for the homie. But then it's like, for something that was expected to live, 3-4 months and, has done 15 years, 20, it's traveled, the farthest distance ever achieved by any extraplanetary robot. It's done crazy, amazing things. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm okay with letting it rest right now. Like you said to me last night, you said, "Oh, it reminds me of Wally." Like when it gets left in the graveyard, and I was like, "Yeah, you're right. That's sad." But no, it's actually really cool. I mean, it's been there since 2003, and it's it's time, I guess. But I think it also helps NASA scientists learn how to develop and design further rovers so that maybe these issues aren't a problem, right?
Right. How to better equip and deal with a sandstorm, apparently.
That we don't have necessarily here, right?
Right.
But this is awesome. I mean, for something that was intended to last 3 months and has lasted, 14 years. I think
It's
we can.
dope.
I think it's dope, and I think we can, sit there and go, this is okay.
Yeah.
It's earned its pour out moment, right?
Absolutely.
Like it's
But it also makes you wonder, like, obviously it did its job, right? But we've
right.
only seen so much of what it sent back. Like, can you imagine the things, and this is just conspiracy theory here, y'all, but the things that it has seen that we don't know about. Do you know what I mean?
Well, absolutely. I mean, Opportunity is a golf cart sized rover, right? So
Mm-hmm.
any golf cart that you've seen on any golf course, that's kind of the thing. And it began its journey to the Endurance Crater, and it spent 6 months performing an extensive investigation of the bedrock of sand dunes, right? And so it would, after those 6 months, go on to study like a roughly half-mile wide Victoria crater between 2006 and 2008, and that helped reveal how water had entered and left the planet like billions of years ago. So
Yeah.
essentially, this has been super important in for all the people that are interested in you know um you know living on Mars potentially.
Was that so hard for you to spit out
It
because you can't
was.
imagine
It
doing
was
it?
because let me tell you why. I'm terrified of that. Like that to me is so scary.
So what about it is scary to you?
Cuz you can't come back. Like when you hear like these, NASA, scientists and whatnot that are like, we're going to learn how to start a community on Mars. It's like they know they're not coming back. That is terrifying to me. I mean, would you do it?
I
See?
think I
See?
think that it really would all depend on my life situation in that moment. But I think the idea of creating it, I get what you're saying where it's scary because you don't know what's out there. For instance, like I'm terrified of the ocean because there's a lot about the ocean we don't know about. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So for me to go and be one of what, 6 people that go and set up camp on a planet that we've never explored just to colonize it. Like, that's terrifying. I've seen too many horror movies that tell you that's not a good idea. Do you know
Well,
what I mean? But
you write kind of
right.
these
And then the
fantasy.
whole, oh, we'll pay you billions of dollars to do it. Okay, where can I spend it? Because if I can't come back, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, so it's a struggle for me to understand. Like, I guess I'm saying I agree with you essentially. It's a struggle for me to understand how anyone in their right mind would be like, yeah, let's go to Mars and stay. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's cool to see if the opportunity is out there for us to colonize a planet other than our own. And obviously there's ups and downs to that theory as well, you know, backlash to that theory as well. But I think it's a cool idea. Would I do it?
I guess my thing is, like, if we can't treat our own planet with kindness and respect, do we deserve to go to another planet and just like use it as like the plan B because we've screwed up? I'm gonna be not say what I was gonna say, but it was because we've screwed up this planet. Like, do we deserve to go to another planet and be like, okay, well, we figured out how to get water and live here, you know? So it's just one of those things where I think it's super cool, but I don't know that we deserve it.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
It just seems, what happens then? And so that's terrifying to me. Like, I literally watched, a news segment where, a NASA astronaut was like, well, I have been training since I was 13 years old to go to Mars. And I know, like, my family knows, my parents know, everyone, I'm never coming back. Like, she's going and she's never coming back. And as a parent, I think, like, oh my God, if my son said to me, like, I'm going to Mars and I'm never coming back, I'd be like, no.
It takes that whole your kid moving out of your house to a whole different level.
Yes. Like, what?
Like,
That's
Mom,
a
I'm not just
whole
moving
nother
out.
thing.
I'm moving out of the planet. Deuces, like, I'm out.
I don't think I could do it. Like, I know I couldn't do it. I'd be like, but I also wouldn't be trying to go with him either.
Right.
Like, let's be real. You know what I mean?
Right. And plus, I don't know how about living on a plane or a spacecraft in a cramped, confined area for that long, eating, like, the nastiest foods. Let's be real, actually. Let's just get really real with it. The food situation. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
What is that like? How am I going to eat?
You're absolutely right. No, you're right. Like, that's a big deal for me.
Because if I can't go back home, how am I going to let y'all know that we don't got no food?
Right. Absolutely. Like, there's a lot of things to be thought about with that. And speaking of changing the world, this portion of the show is sponsored by KOG and Company. Are your unique gifts and talents changing the world? Unleash Your Dopeness is a people empowerment movement built to encourage the masses to operate outside of their fears and have the gall to recklessly pursue their dreams and passions in life. Join thousands of others as we unlock the greatness that dwells inside. Shop dope gear at KOGpassion.com. That's KOGpassion.com. And use coupon code DOPE! For 10% off exclusive. Unleash Your Dopeness apparel. Act now. Sizes are selling out fast.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
You better unleash your dopeness.
This has been, like, I've been so excited to do this, as you know. Like, I was like, yay. You know, we've known each other for so long. And you've always been super supportive of everything that I'm doing. And I want you to tell the good folks out there a little bit about you and how they can find you and support you.
Well, you can find me on Facebook.com, obviously. It's L.AYALA. It's Lee Ayala, or L Ayala is my author name. I have an entire series out currently Working on a new one. So
Talk
check
about
that
your
out.
series. What's it about? What's it like? Let's
Currently,
give the folks a little
the
bit more
series I have
knowledge.
out right now is called the Dark Road series. It's a supernatural, urban urban fantasy novel, a collection of novels, basically. So if that's your gig, I cover topics anything from, obviously your typical werewolf vampire type thing, but I talk about the undead. I go into a little bit of witchcraft. I actually go into you know religion a lot in the last book. So it covers a lot of different platforms. I talk about real world crisis, and I implement what's going on in our real world and in our country in our book in fun, unique ways. Um, but if you need an escape, that's what I ultimately do. I write for an escape for myself, to get away from what we're facing on a daily basis in our world. And if I can do that for at least one person, my job is done. So check me out on that. On, like I said, it's L.AYALA, or go to thedarkroadseries.com, where you can order your copies of my books.
Thank you so much, Lee. Like, thank you for coming on. Like, I'm so excited
Thank
to
you for
have
having
you. And as always, you can find me at arianamckinney.com, my website, or you can find me on all the social medias: Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Insta, at Dish with Ari. Holler at us. Yeah,
She's the one serving all the face in her profile picture.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Lee. I did recently change my Facebook profile, or all my social media profiles.
I woke up and saw that. I said, "Yeah, she better give me life this early in the morning."
You are the best. Thank you. See, this is why I love him. He's constantly like, "Get it, honey." Yes. Thank you, Boo. And this has been an amazing episode. I'm so thankful for you coming on and taking the time out of your life to come on and talk to me and talk to the great people who tune in every week. And thank you, guys. And please, 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 please subscribe to us. Go to www.thesphere.tv/technocrats. You can find us anywhere you listen to your podcast. Apple, YouTube, Stitcher, Spreaker,
Google Play.
Thank you. Keep it going. Google Play. All of the things. Okay, you can find us. All right. I appreciate you. We thank you. Please subscribe, and also, Patreon. Please come on. There's some cool stuff that we're doing on Patreon that you guys don't get to see here. We're doing some cool unboxing. There are cool, things that we talk about that you will get privy to. You'll also get privy to our Discord app and be able to chat with us during our entire episode. Everything, all of these things. Let's do it, y'all. Like, if you love tech and you love what we're doing, holler at us. And if you'd love to just give us some suggestions, things we can do better, things you'd like to hear us talk about, get on #Technocrats on all social media platforms. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you. Thank you, Lee. Thank you. And we will see you next week.